सबको नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
मेरी नेट थोड़ी गड़बड़ कर रही है, पर देखते हैं, होगा तो होगा।
ओम नमो नारायणाय गुरु माँ।
ओम नमो नारायणाय। Shobha is okay now. She's well.
Yes, yes.
Good.
Little
eh?
coughing is only वो बस
थोड़ा कॉफिंग है। हाँ,
हाँ।
वायरल होगा। मैंने सुना कि
वायरल
काफी
हाँ
त्रिवेंद्रम में भी चल रहा था वही वायरल कॉफ वाला।
हाँ हाँ वायरल फीवर भी हुआ, साथ में अस्थमा का अटैक पड़ गया, उससे गड़बड़ हो गया।
ओह, अच्छा। एक्चुअली दिल्ली में वो पार्थिनियम बहुत है, वो जो बोलते हैं ना गाजर घास,
हाँ हाँ
तो उसके कारण हो जाती है। ओके, तो अभी भी 1 मिनट है। आज भाग्य अंकल नहीं आएंगे, उन्होंने बताया कि वो नहीं आ पाएंगे। फिर हम शुरू कर देते हैं, ठीक है? प्रेयर से शुरू कर देते हैं। सबको म्यूट करती हूँ मैं। ओम नमो नारायणाय। ओके, वाला म्यूटेड। ओम। We'll do the prayers. Oh, I forgot to close this file. Just give me 1 minute. एक फाइल को बंद करना है क्योंकि ना वो सिस्टम रिसोर्सेज पकड़ लेती है। ओके, मोनिका, नाइस टू सी यू मोनिका।
ओम नमो नारायणाय गुरु माँ।
ओम नमो नारायणाय। रायला माया ड्रिंक वाटर।
How is the
Okay, so
progress
let's
there
do
in Trivandrum?
Well, it's not.
We'll talk later. Okay, good.
नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मत्कुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तो पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So welcome to all of you all for this. Today will not be so experimental, but from next time, okay? So we are going to look at these values from chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna, he says that these are the values necessary for gaining Atmajnanam, for Brahma Jnanam. What is Brahma Jnana? The knowledge of reality. Look at that, knowledge of reality, of what is real. Okay. And then, like everything else in life, success depends upon adequate preparation. Brahma Jnanam also, we need the presence of certain values. In the presence of those values, this Jnanam will take place. As we live our life, in the presence of these values, Jnanam takes place. In the absence of these values, we don't receive the Jnanam, and even if we do, it's not assimilated, and the Jnanam does not stay, So the purpose of this Jnana, Brahma Jnanam is what? Dukkha Nivritti, Sukha Prapti. Atyantika. Okay? Atyantik Dukkha Nivritti and Sukha Prapti. And that purpose will not be served. And so unassimilated values, it's like poison in the system. Like undigested food, you know. When food is not digested, then it gives a stink, no? There is a stink. It's poisonous. So there's a verse, you know, there's a small little anabhyase visham shastram ajirne bhojanam visham. Ajirne bhojanam visham. When bhoj, this your food, ajirne, when it is undigested, it is nothing but visham. In the same way, okay, when these values are unassimilated, undigested, it is like poison in the system, becomes unproductive, it becomes counterproductive. So it's very extremely important to focus on the values that are conducive to this Vedanta study. And values are what we call as dharma. So let me go back to the slide. So I liked this quote. I just found this quote on the net, so I put it, I liked it, I thought it was apt. In this chaotic and diverse world, the human race wouldn't have survived and coexisted. But thanks to the universally shared values, saved by values, iti. Okay? So now, these values are what we call as dharma. So, dharma is our stepping stone to moksha. Without living a life of dharma, we have no hope of attaining this moksha. Okay, so dharma is values, values are dharma, and so these values are extremely important for a student of Vedanta. Now, supposing you want to study calculus. Before you study calculus, naturally there are prerequisites for it. You need to have some knowledge of trigonometry. But trigonometry you will not know unless you know algebra and geometry, and algebra and geometry you won't know unless you know mathematics, right? So for the study of calculus, certain prerequisites are there, and there are prerequisites for any field of study. So like in the knowledge of calculus, we need to become prepared for the knowledge of Brahman. And what is knowledge of Brahman? Discovery of our own divinity. Something very divine here. Discovery of that. And so this is extraordinary knowledge, and so we need extraordinary preparation. Right? And this extraordinary preparation is, naturally, we all know that Antakarana Shuddhi, cultivation of purity of mind. Okay. Remember in the sadhana class I had said, sadhana is 24/7. It is only because of values, because every moment in our life, we need to make some decision. And that decision needs to be based on values. So every moment of our life, we are faced with decision making, and decision making in keeping with values. And therefore our sadhana becomes 24/7. Okay, so what do we mean by purity of mind? What do we mean by purity of water? Purity of water means removing the impurities. When impurities are removed from the water, then the water is pure, right? Okay, so too, purity of mind is, we gain that when the impurities have been removed. So what are the mental impurities? All our negative emotions, we can call them. Our lack of viveka, so hurt, greed, irritation, jealousy, frustration, binding raga and dvesha, dharma, adharma, aviveka. All the aviveka, all comes under impurities. Okay. Atma Anatma Aviveka is also considered as the biggest impurity. So anything which blocks or impedes our gaining of this knowledge, it is called as impurity. Now I did some research, okay. So I was looking at the example of learning calculus. Internet mein dekha, what are the prerequisites for learning calculus? So it says that you need to have a certain comfort level with algebra, geometry and trigonometry. तो ये मेरे आनंद के लिए मैंने किया. So in algebra you would need to know how to manipulate polynomial equations. ये तो हम सब कुछ भूल गए हैं. I don't remember anything. How to solve linear equations, how to solve quadratic equations, the properties of exponents. इधर थोड़े mathematics वाले हैं तो the logarithms as well as their properties. Then you need a thorough knowledge of functions because calculus deals with functions. In geometry, you need to know how to calculate the area of various shapes, how to calculate the volume of 3D shapes, knowledge of analytical geometry. In trigonometry, you need to know the basic, trigonometry functions of sin x. This is all like Greek now. Cos x, tan x, ये सब किया है पर याद नहीं है. But only when these prerequisites are in place, right? Then you can learn calculus. Partial preparation will it make थोड़ा थोड़ा मुझे पता है, थोड़ा algebra पता है, थोड़ा geometry पता है. It doesn't work. It won't work. Partial preparation doesn't work. So even for the study of calculus, partial preparation is not going to work. How is it going to work for the study of this most extraordinary Vidya, Brahma Vidya iti? So what we require is a very thorough and complete preparation of the mind, right? So that we can progress on this spiritual path. And Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga talks about Yama and Niyamas. So what does Patanjali, we are just quickly looking at it. Yamas. Yamas are the values. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, not to steal, Brahmacharya, the right use of your energy, Aparigraha, not aggrandizing. Okay, not non-hoarding. That's a good word. Non-hoarding. Aparigraha. And what are the niyamas? Observances in our life, the sadhana, shaucha, cleanliness, santosha, contentment, tapas, discipline, austerity, okay, swadhyay, study of scriptures, Ishvara pranidhanam, what I talk about every day, samarpan bhava, iti, okay, all of this. But we are not going to look at these because we are going to look at what Lord Krishna has to say in this 13th chapter. So let's look at this. 13th chapter में कृष्णा बताते हैं from verse number 8 to 12. A set of 20 values are there. Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam vinigraha indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarshanam asakterana vishwangaha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapat mahi chananya yogena bhaktiravyavicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratirjana samsade adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva darshanam etad jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yadatonyatha. He says all these he calls as jnanam here. Wow, just look at that, jnanam. Let me see if I can stop this there. So Krishna calls all the values as jnanam here. Secondary, in a secondary sense, because they are going to If you have these qualities in you, then definitely Brahma Jnanam is not far away. Okay, so, and other than this, everything he calls as Ajnanam. It is all ignorance. So the first value was Amanitvam. Amanitvam, the absence of self-conceit, the absence of unhealthy pride. So Mani, who is a Mani? A Mani is a person who thinks very highly of himself. I'm great, you know, there's nobody like me. I've done this and I've done that, and what have I not achieved, iti. And all of us know, you know, some people are like that. So Manitvam, okay, Mani is the person who has got this kind of unhealthy pride, and Manitvam is self-conceit, self-glorification, self-admiration, all in excess. It's called as Manitvam. Atmani Pujyatva Bhavana. Looking upon oneself as very great person. This is called as Manitva. Now there are some problems. So Amanitvam, before we go in that, so Manitvam we saw. So Amanitvam is the absence of unhealthy pride or freedom from self-conceit. The person is not conceited. Okay? If you look at it in a positive sense, it means the presence of humility. So in a very positive sense, Krishna is saying the presence of humility. जिसके अंदर humility हो. Okay. Why does Vedanta look upon Manitvam or unhealthy pride or self-conceit as big obstacle? So usually when we accomplish something, समझो हमने कुछ भी accomplish किया, I'll keep coming back to the slides. Then our society will tell us, you are great, you are wonderful, you did so well, wow, congratulations, amazing what you did, congratulations, iti. Family bhi bolegi, you know. So, and that's natural, it's good also, some appreciation you get from the family. Nothing wrong with that. The problem begins when we begin to see ourselves as terrifically great, which means what? There is a strong possibility that we will be in denial of our own weaknesses. क्योंकि सबके अंदर कोई ना कोई weakness होता है, पर glossing over those weaknesses, उसको नहीं देखे हम, we deny that, we may look down upon others. I am the greatest, they are ordinary, they are normal, I am great. And then what happens is, often we can get addicted to being admired. It's a terrific addiction, you know, because it's nourishment to the ego. Ego nourishment milti hai. This person is, and then what happens? We crave for admiration. Now, मुझे कोई बोले कि I'm very good, I'm great, you know, and that craving, you know, when that admiration, supposing somebody doesn't give that, then there is a sense of deprivation. And supposing many people don't give that, they get fed up. You know, this is a high maintenance person, बार बार बोलना पड़ता है इसको. High maintenance person, the person is called, and they stop giving. Say, अरे बहुत हो गया यार. Then what happens? Deprivation हो गई. Depression में आ जा रहा है आदमी. क्या I'm a nobody? Nobody. So the person is going on evaluating themselves based on what the other person is saying. And so this happens a lot when, you know, supposing we are in very high position in office, and then when we retire, many people go through the deprivation syndrome. What is that? In office, they had lots of power and lots of respect. After retirement, it's not there. Nothing is there. You know, you are just at your home. Nobody gives you that kind of respect and that kind of admiration and that kind of कि आपके हर बात को सुनना, वो भी नहीं होता है. तो रिटायरमेंट के बाद जब दैट पावर इज मिसिंग, देन दोस पीपल फील दे आर नथिंग और डिप्रेशन में आ सकते हैं. एंड द थर्ड प्रॉब्लम इज अनहेल्दी प्राइड. One loses one's power of discrimination. Okay, so I put all this down on the screen, so let's look at that. After having explained, right, problems of unhealthy or excessive pride, it makes us deny our own weaknesses, makes us look down upon others, makes us get addicted to admiration, and then we suffer when that is not coming, and makes us lose our power of discrimination, and makes us forget certain facts. If we remember those facts, then we will never have this unhealthy pride. पर वो सब हम भूल जाते हैं, मोह में आ जाते हैं, एक्साइटेड हो जाते हैं हमारी अचीवमेंट के साथ, and we forget. So what are those? The first fact is that whatever is my accomplishment for which the society is admiring me, society is admiring me, but the fact is I can never take full credit for any accomplishment. Whatever accomplishment, my contribution is only one of the factors. There are so many other factors, innumerable other factors involved, and so I can never take full credit. ठीक है, पूरे क्रेडिट हम नहीं ले सकते हैं. But because I am so excited by my achievement, I lose sight of this fact, and I claim and I feel that I have accomplished this. मैंने किया, मैंने सब. In fact, many times we won't present what the others did, you know. बोलेंगे मैंने किया, मैंने सब कुछ किया. And this is forgetfulness, or sometimes deliberate forgetfulness, because we are excited. So here we need to remember that whatever name and fame that I get, 99% of the credit goes to many other factors, and I can maybe claim a little bit. हाँ, मेरा भी उसमें हिस्सा था, थोड़ा सा हिस्सा मेरा भी था. तो ये fact gets lost by the self-conceited person, doesn't remember that. Second fact which this self-conceited person forgets is, even if I have contributed something, okay, as in for any accomplishment, it could be anything, music, whatever, sales in your company, education, sports. But Gita is pointing out that any little contribution also which is made by me is really speaking not my contribution. If I find that I am born with some talent, that talent is a gift from Ishvara. And this is revealed in our 10th chapter. Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam Srimad urjitam va tatta devava gachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Lord Krishna says, whatever being this great and prosperous and powerful, he says, जो भी है वो समझो कि मेरा ही विभूति है. Okay, it is my vibhuti. So really speaking, I don't enjoy any credit, any glory. It is all Ishvara's grace expressing, manifesting through me. Even the limited contribution that I made, I cannot claim. It's a fact. It's the truth. But because there is self-conceit, I forget that fact. I forget others' contribution. I forget Lord's contribution. And so this kind of self-conceit is an obstacle to devotion. Self-conceit and bhakti cannot coexist. साथ साथ में नहीं जाते हैं. Because the self-conceited person forgets Bhagwan. उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन है उनको दिखता ही नहीं है. एंड एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग भगवान कंट्रीब्यूशन इज द ओनली कंट्रीब्यूशन. जो सब लोग के कंट्रीब्यूशन था वो भी भगवान का ही ग्रेस था. इति this the fact is completely forgotten in Manitwa. And the third fact is, however great I am, I may be great, great thinker and new thoughts, I may be like a rishi, iti. So however great I am, I can never claim myself to be the greatest person. I cannot claim myself to be the greatest person. Why? Because there are so many people. There are people, there were people, there will be people who will be greater than me. This is a world of Sadishayatvam. Very beautiful word, Sadishayatvam, where anything can be made better. Anything can be better. Anything can be improved. So if I created a Guinness Book of Record, one day will come when that record will also be broken. Iti. Okay? Every record is a breakable record. So, I need to remember there are people who are either as great as me or greater than me. So, self-conceit robs my discrimination and I get into a delusion. Yehi delusion hai. I lose sight of the fact that there are other people who are as great as me or greater than me. The thing is, I love to forget this fact. मुझे बहुत आनंद आता है ये भूलना है कि there are other people greater than me or as great as me, because I want all the admiration, no? And then because of this forgetfulness of this fact, the thing happens is this conceited person cannot appreciate the other person. Not able to appreciate another person who is as great as me or greater than me. I cannot admire that person. If I find somebody who is as great as me or greater than me, because of my self-conceit, I'm not able to acknowledge or appreciate that person, iti. Right? Because I want to be the center of all admiration. Must come to me from all these sides. So these are all the consequences of this self-conceit. Okay? So these were the facts that we forget. Just let me hide, my screen has got all kinds of stuff which you guys can't see. Hide floating meeting controls. Right? When I bola hide floating meeting controls. Okay. So without others' contribution, so others are there who are contributors, and whatever is my contribution is really not my contribution, it's Ishwara's contribution. And the third fact is, however great I may be, they may be somebody else. And so if this kind of self-conceit is there, then what happens? My glory is threatened by others. So there can be jealousy, anger, and the door of devotion is blocked. And once the door of devotion is blocked, without bhakti, knowledge cannot take place. So Lord Krishna here says that the first value you need to develop is amanitvam. Absence of excessive pride, or develop humility. Okay? Vinaya. Okay. And now Upanishads, Puranas, सब में बहुत stories है where people get conceited and then Bhagwan comes, and उनके जो conceit को उतार देता है. In Kena Upanishad, which you all have not done, there is a story where all the devatas are humbled by the Lord. So humility is required for every Vedantic seeker, because without humility, no bhakti, without bhakti, no jnanam. Okay. So first prayer is, O Lord, grant me amanitvam, humility, and I may proudly say that in our group, all of us have it. Okay. So pride, manitvam can be unhealthy or it can be healthy also. Healthy manitvam is good, means I appreciate my strengths and I know my weaknesses also. That's objective. One is objective to oneself. Now, unhealthy pride can have two ways. One is the excessive self-conceit, which we saw. The other is when a person has got very low self-esteem. That also is a problem. Okay, the self-esteem becomes very low, then the person is vulnerable to depression, lack of confidence, jealousy, all of these things will creep in. Okay, now comes my topic for today, which I thought I would like to introduce a different way of doing this topic of values. Let's see how far we'll be able to go with this method. And so we are going to look at what are called as Cartesian questions. Okay, so these are a set of 4 questions, and when we use these 4 questions, we gain a new perspective. Our understanding of a value change, or when we get a new perspective, we'll understand it extremely well. We'll understand why we value something. Okay, we'll be able to understand why. We'll understand what motivates us, what matters to us. And we'll also be able to understand why we are not able to change. Why we are unable to make a choice to change even when we want to. We are not able to do that. Why we just stay the way we are, stuck. We get stuck somewhere, iti. So it helps us sometimes to identify some limiting beliefs that we may have about ourselves that keep us stuck. And so it may show us how we ourselves are creating self-sabotage. Self-sabotage means अपने ही माथे पे कुल्हाड़ी मारना, अपने आप को हानि पहुंचाना. That is what self-sabotage is. Okay, so there will be 4 questions. So let's look at the 4 questions. If you want, you can write them down. If I follow the value, what will I gain? If I follow the value, what will I gain? What will I lose if I do not follow the value? Okay, simple enough. What will I lose if I follow the value? And what will I gain if I do not follow the value? Okay, we'll look at an example. Okay. So for example, I took the value of honesty. What will I gain if I follow the value of honesty? I'll have long-term gains. My self-esteem will grow because I don't have conflict, because what I think and what I say are one and the same, and what I do, I'm in alignment. So my self-esteem is there. Because my self-confidence is there, my character is strong, freedom from conflict. I can trust myself, others can trust me. So I become a person others can depend upon. And so my relationships are based on truth. I have true relationships. There's no attempt to manipulate anybody. I'm not manipulating a relationship, nothing. Okay? So these are some long-term benefits I get by following the value, correct? What would I lose if I did not follow the value? Same. I lose my self-esteem, I lose trust in myself, I lose my self-confidence, I become unworthy of other people's trust, my character becomes weak, and my relationships are untrue. Because there's this attempt to manipulate. What would you lose if you did follow the value? Now, this is where the important thing happens, okay? We hang on to values because we hang on to what we want. Because if we follow the value, we may lose something. If we hang on to what we are doing, then we are gaining something. So we need to become aware of that. So what would I lose if I followed the value of honesty? Maybe some short-term material gains I would lose. And maybe, if I lie, maybe I will get the acceptance and approval of some people. If I show them that I am something else other than I am, because there's something in me which is not approvable, and I show them कि मेरे अंदर वो है नहीं, so then they will approve of me, they will accept me. So I can, if I follow what will you lose if you did follow the value? If I followed the value, the material gains I would have made by lying, that I will lose. And if I followed the value of honesty, if I showed myself as I am, I may lose the respect and approval, acceptance of some people. Supposing there's this guy, he wants to date this girl. He knows that this girl doesn't like people who drink. So he tells her, I don't drink, but he is a solid drinker. Huh? He wants her acceptance, so he lies to her. But if he followed the value of honesty, there is a chance that she will not accept him. So he would stand to lose that if he followed that value. Yeah? What would you gain if you did not follow the value? I would gain those short-term material benefits. I would gain short-term respect and approval, maybe. Right? Yeah. So now let's look at another way. I put it like this in a chart. Simple, this example of honesty. Follow the value of honesty, gains and losses. If I don't follow the value of honesty, correct? Then what are my gains if I don't follow the value? And what are my losses? So when I do this chart, it becomes very clear to me. Supposing I am a liar, many times I find myself lying. When I do a chart like this, I am able to understand very clearly what is the benefit I get by lying, because of which I am not ready to give up. There's some benefit I am getting, which I am not yet ready to give up. You can say I'm not mature enough to give up. I'm not able to give up, whatever you want to call it. That becomes clear. Once that becomes clear to me, then I can work on that. That should become clear. Okay. Then only when it becomes clear, if it is shrouded, in the darkness of ignorance, then one has no occasion to work with it. But if it becomes clear, then you say, okay, for the time being, this is my weakness. This is where I am for the time being. But I would like to come out of this, so I will work on it. EFT is very helpful for this, by the way, for, getting past this. Again, let's look at this. Okay, if I follow the value of honesty, I will have Komal read out. You can unmute Komal. Huh?
If I follow the value of honesty, my long-term gains will be respect myself, others respect me, self-esteem, strong character,
Improves.
trustworthy, dependable.
Yeah, I become trustworthy. People can depend on me. My character becomes strong. I have self-esteem, self-confidence. Other people are able to respect me because I respect myself. Yeah. If I follow honesty, I may lose something. I may have to give up something for following honesty. So that is what we're looking at. What will I have to give up to follow honesty?
Will
So
lose.
Monica, you want to see what will I have to give up? Monica may not even be there.
No,
Sonia,
I'm there.
Monica. Yeah.
Yeah. If you may be uncomfortable to say a few truths, which you'll have to force more questions at times.
Yeah.
But
what
of
if
course, if the conviction is there, that but it's
No,
easier
I'm not
to
asking for that. No, I'm not asking for the conviction and all.
okay,
I'm just asking that you go with this.
right.
If I follow the value, what will be my losses?
May have
You can
to
look at the screen.
yeah, I'm looking at the screen only. Losses.
Typically traders, वो कुछ ना कुछ वो
झूठ
अपने
बोलते
प्राइस
हैं।
को हाइक अप करते हैं.
हाँ.
Some people, who will buy who will buy things and sell to their friends and make a profit out of their friends.
Right.
So if I follow honesty, then I'm not going to make that profit.
So I'll not indulge in such activities जिसमें ये करना पड़ेगा.
नहीं वो नहीं पूछ रही हूँ मोनिका. I'm not interested in what you will not do.
No. Okay.
You're just looking at this, that there is something that when we follow value, we have to give up something.
Yeah. Okay. You are asking what you have to
we have to give up something. What do we have to give up? For example, in the value of honesty, we have to give up something. We're having to give up maybe the respect, approval, acceptance of others. Maybe if I'm honest, or if I'm a trader, or supposing I tell Monica that, okay, here you get very beautiful off-white cloth with that gold jari border. And I tell her, this particular one, this dupatta, it's costing 3,000 rupees. Actually, I paid only 2,000 rupees for it. But if I'm honest, then I have to tell her I paid only 2,000. In which case, I lose that profit of 1,000.
Right.
Yeah? So that's all it is. Okay? Now, if I don't follow the value of honesty, what am I going to gain? That is for Sonia uncle. Whoever is in front of me, I'm just calling the name. You have to unmute, uncle.
Yes, I will mind. Possible short-term material gains and possible respect, approval, acceptance of others.
Yeah.
So
if I
lose long-term gains of respecting
No,
myself.
I'm not asking you for the lose. I'm not asking you that part. I'm asking you only this part.
Yes,
so possible short-term material gain, like that trader thing. Supposing I don't follow the value of honesty, then I will gain that 1,000 rupees. I bought it for 2,000 rupees, but I told Monica it is 3,000 rupees, so I gained 1,000 rupees.
Yes.
Yeah, I gained 1,000 rupees. In that gaining of 1,000 rupees, what did I lose? I lost my own self-esteem.
I
lost
respect for myself. Other respect to be self-esteem, strength of character, being trustworthy and dependable.
Yeah. So in that 1,000 rupee gain which I made, I would find it difficult to totally respect myself. There will be some shreds of guilt there. In that much sense, because of the conflict between what I'm saying and what I'm doing, there will be
that is probably what
there will be a conflict for me. Yes, okay, Sonia uncle, now it's over. Naturally, I become weaker in character. And Monica, if she finds out, she will not trust me anymore. Find it very difficult to trust me. She'll say, "Ye Mata ji to lie karti hai." Yeah, so this is what happens. So, what this method does is it reveals the advantages of following values very clearly, and it can point out where I'm stuck because of my own needs. For example, in that example, I had a strong need for gaining monetary, for making ullu out of, maybe I had a strong need of making ullu out of Monica. or I had a strong need for paisa. So I didn't care. Okay. So it points out to me that where is my need? What is my need? What is my weakness? Why am I want to be honest, but I'm not able to be honest. Why? Similarly, for each value, that sometimes we are stuck, we are not able to move on because of something. So we learn to identify each of them. Okay. Whatever written, if a person does not follow honesty, it means they're gaining something material or emotional, personally, which does not allow them to follow. If the person has done some action that will not be approved by society, and this person needs a lot of social acceptance, then the person is going to lie. Supposing the person is taking, simple case, is drinking, as I told you, he wants to date this girl and he's drinking, and she doesn't like people who drink, so he lies so as to get her approval. Okay, so this method of analysis helps us a lot to become very crystal clear about why the value is valuable. As you can see in Pooja Swamiji's book, but it becomes a little clearer than that also. Yeah, the value of the value becomes valuable. It becomes of
Yes.
value to you. So it will point out your own binding raga, dveshas, etc. Okay. So next time, that's all we're going to do. Next time, we'll go into breakout rooms and you will discuss the value of amanitvam using this 4-question model. Okay? So that it becomes very clear to you what amanitvam means. You will use this. I will send you the questions, no problem. And we'll put you in breakout rooms. Maybe I may do one more value, which is called adambitvam, the next value. And after that, have the breakout rooms. But it may not, breakout rooms, you need time to discuss, So we may not do one more. Like that, whichever value we can, we will try to use this method so that it becomes deeply, we deeply understand the values. It's your own understood, discussed, well discussed and understood this thing. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. For example, with somebody who came to me for EFT, I used this to help them to go through their tendency to worry over things they can't control. Use the same method, I used it for somebody said, I don't do japa regularly. I'm irregular with my japa. Then surfing the internet at night. They have this behavior of surfing the internet at night and not going to sleep on time. And then that spoils the whole day for the next day. So I use this method, this Cartesian question method, to help them to understand why do you surf at night, what is the benefit you're getting from it, what is so sweet about it, and what will you gain if you stop doing that. Use the same method, and it was very, very helpful for that person. So that's because when I did it like that with them is when I realized that this becomes so useful, So when we are doing the topic of values, we can do it like that. Yeah. Okay. Om Hari Om Tat Sat, and we'll meet for the prayer meeting at 6:30. Okay. How was it? What do you think about this method?
No, but we have to
Yeah.
analyze this value, amanitvam,
Yes.
whatever the way you have done
Yes.
the analysis in a similar way.
You analyze any way you want. You may do a better job than my analysis.
No. But the pattern
आपको
should be
जो
like
analysis
this.
करना है करो. But you will put it in this 4 squares. If
That
I
is
follow
not
the value of an amanitam, what do I gain? What do I lose? If I don't follow it, what do I gain? What do I lose? Yeah.
But it holds good only for an immature person, I think. Maturity will not
Yeah, we are
allow.
all immature in some way or the other. Amanitum is okay. When Vairagyam comes, the fun begins. See?
Yeah, but it's
Okay,
a
Om
long term.
Hari Om.
Okay, okay.